big matches today as we're going the full 10 games. Our first series went to the 5th map. Method was able to earn a victory, and today on our last series here, Leftovers and Fnatic are facing off, and our 5th game is ready to go. I can't be more excited, man. Are you ready for this? Who's gonna pull ahead? Who can get this win?
No clue who's gonna win.
Yeah.
It's close. It's as close as expected, with Leftovers being the team. I mean, they are the team that is really going to the Western Clash, that are improving continuously, that are attacking the top 3 in Europe very aggressively. You would expect them to be in a close series against Fnatic here. Not at the beginning of the phase. That's something where that wasn't really quite what I thought I would say here, but now it's really a toss-up. Who takes it? Is Fnatic tilted from that last game? Do they have the clear mindset after the break that they can really focus on the draft now and approach the next game level-headed? Because we've seen great synergy. I mean, they look better and stronger, but they are up against a team that has not only now found a lot of experience, the Western Clash and offline events, they're up against a team that it has shown that they are also consistent.
And the final map has been chosen. Sky Temple will be where this series concludes. Fnatic with the choice, and Leftovers will be having first pick.
Old school map for Fnatic. Back then, with Quacknix as their main shot caller, it's a map that they love to play. Massive, massive plays around globals.
Global.
Were standard for them. The fast food, the build that they had, the McDonald's strategy, and the double support times with the Chen at the front line, just cheesing through an opponent, something that no one expected. Came out at the mid-season brawl that they eventually won. Great plays from them in the past, but things have changed. They have different shot caller, they have a different team, they have a different approach to the game. Sky Temple still a stronghold for them here against Leftovers? Big question.
Back then, cheesing for cheeseburgers, but today it's about pride. They want to earn a big victory, continue to climb in the standings, and keep their eyes on placement for BlizzCon. Only a few more weeks here left in HGC. Every victory matters, and we had them so many times in the first part of Phase 2. Go to that Game 5 and just not deliver all the way through. Now is the time to bounce back.
It's seriously the story of Fnatic in Phase 2 of 2018. Go to Game 5 and lose the 5th game. It happened over and over and over again. Even though they found themselves in the 5th spot, I think if I'm not mistaken, towards the Western Clash, their map record was still better than the next 2 teams above them. Just simply because they always went to Game 5, they always took two wins out of a best-of-5 series. So it was actually really impressive. But it doesn't matter at the end of the day. It matters if you can win the series, and if you can't, you have a problem. Dehaka banned by Fnatic of all people, eliminating a global here.
Something to know on this battleground is they have played Valera Malfield composition.
Yeah.
So with that Dehaka ban coming in there, obviously Urel will be something that will be discussed between our teams, but Fnatic has been willing to show, I think what we called it earlier, creative drafts when it comes to this battleground.
Okay, Degard Kane. Again, Urel Diablo. Are we going to see standard drafts here? Sky Temple changes things quite a bit, so it's not quite the same map style and the way that you approach it here. This is a map where you can play around opponents once that you have a lead, but normally you try and do that with globals. And we have Abathur banned out, we have Degard Kane taken away. There's Urel and there's Mirrodin. Alright, so you already break that up. You leave Diablo open for your opponent, you give them that, but you identify Urel as one of the biggest problems in these synergies. But here we go. We have the Leftovers Maiev. That's something that has been banned out over and over against them. And Diablo, that is scary to say the least.
Literally the identity of Leftovers. I mean, all we need now is like a Tracer, right? And they have all their power picks. Degard Kane. Maiev was a hero that Blackitney displayed a skill on. Leftovers was able to force a fight as they wanted to. They would have Diablo follow it up. Phoenix has been banned out. Good call here from Fnatic. It's a great follow-up to Diablo's Lightning Breath. Valera will be banned out. Leftovers know of the past history of Fnatic.
I'm wondering what happened here. If Fnatic just outsmarted themselves, because they switched their bans. They banned Maiev in every single game. And this is the first time that they actually let Maiev through. If you plan on picking Maiev for yourself, you can pull that off. But now we have Tracer and Junkrat taken. High-impact heroes. That's really, again, I'm a little bit scared for like a simple reason. This is just for me a mentality aspect. If you look at these players, they are all fantastic. But one of the things that has always been a problem of Shrimpy, which he openly talked about, is pressure sometimes gets to him, and he always feels in a high-pressure situation, he has the responsibility to make that happen. And now they draft Tracer. Can totally work. We've seen it from DAB earlier.
Yeah.
But it looks a little bit like Shrimpy feels, hey, I have to put on the backpack right now and carry my team. They give also a great hero to Mena though with Junkrat and a lot of displacement here. But you go up against a monstrous composition with that Diablo and Maiev. And a Tacita. Ooh, right.
No healer.
Solo support Tacita. We have seen that from Fnatic in the past. Tomb was usually the map where they pulled it off, but we've seen it also on Sky Temple. I mean, there's a couple of things really to this, looking at it. So, number one, this isn't just a draft you throw anywhere out there.
Yeah,
that's definitely something that comes from those practices there. They talked about a lot in the previous weekend, for example, about how they haven't really shown any drafts against Zealots earlier, against Roll20, and then against Dignitas, they said, okay, we have some drafts, we're not sure what we're going to show. This is one of them. Does that work out? We'll have to find out. But so they definitely have something prepared, and they approach this, okay, we have an idea going in. Not banning Maiev is weird to me, though, because that either says, I want Maiev for myself, but then they don't pick it in the first 2 rotations, so that more or less signals that they are okay if Maiev is picked on the other side. So this really feels to me that either Fnatic screwed up in the bans, or that they said, yeah, take Maiev. You'll see what happens, and we're going to deal with that.
I'm worried.
I'm worried too, but
Tracer just getting slight damage thrown her way.
Yeah.
You can't heal that up, and now she just becomes a liability on your team. You have to play around shields the entire time, and your rail jumping in with armor. Let's see how it goes. Leftovers here on the left side. In the blue. Lakitni playing Maiev, Polyboss on Blaze, DIB on Li Ming, Mopsy on Diablo, and Linked on Deckard Cain.
Fnatic putting it all on the line again in game number 5 with a draft that comes a bit out of left field. Towards the right side, we see them with Mena on Junkrat. We have Breeze on Muradin, Shrimpy on Tracer. The carry potential here with Smexy on Tacita, and Last Hope on Urel. No main healer. A lot of damage on Fnatic's side, a lot of wave clear, of pressure, but no full healer. Instead, relying solely on Tacita here. Definitely a draft that has been prepared in the past, but they let Maiev slide through the draft. After banning Maiev out every single game of this series, in game number 5, Fnatic decides to not go for a Maiev ban. Instead, they ban out Genji, so that he can't go for Tacita in that backline and exploit the low hit point pool. And they're also banning out Dehaka, so they can't be out global.
Now, with that being said, self-sustain is available for both Muradin and Urel. Tacita does not have to pay attention to them. They should be able to hold on themselves. All Tacita has to do is keep an eye on Shrimpy, provide the shields where it's needed. Junkrat should be safe enough where he doesn't get caught out of position. He'll shell nades from afar. So in theory, this composition has some team fights going for it. Just a matter of whether or not they can find those angles and the Tracer can do the work that Fnatic is hoping she can pull off.
There's so much pressure on Fnatic now. More so than on Leftovers. Leftovers have been in this position before. They are a team that I feel is comfortable being a little bit behind and always believes in their own strength and in their ability to come back in any situation. And they had such a successful season already that, in my eyes, they don't have to prove anyone anything. Themselves, the least of all. They know that they have already outperformed everyone's expectations in their own too, by going to the Clash and still doing this well. For Fnatic, there's a lot of pressure, though. They are expected by so many people to be one of the top 2 teams in Europe, to be locked into that eternal fight against Team Dignitas, and they are far away from that. But at the same time, they are now in a spot where they can, with a victory here, start to inch their way back forward towards the top 2 within Europe. But for that to happen, they need to win Game 5, and they really play a draft that does not allow you to make any mistakes.
Fight in the middle, as Tracer goes straight in for Diablo. Muradin and Tacita are there to help out, but Diablo's going to be just fine, able to sustain through there. I gotta say, this Junkrat pick, it really kind of brings this all together if it's going to work out. He can deal with any of the Merc pressure that happens on this battleground, thanks to being able to knock them into turrets. He brings a wave clear, and that allows for Fnatic to stay on top of their game plan, whatever that may be. I'm waiting for that to open up, but it seems like they just want to try and win these fights, find some quick kills, and then grab the temples.
The kidney on this Maiev, it's such a trademark for Leftovers. Fnatic allowing that to happen is still something where I want to see, can they really deal with it or not? Because B is currently very happy about that. Rotations onto the bot lane from Junkrat with the wave clear. Up here to the top, they're trying to clear that out. Smexy, of course, is firing away. Last Hope also attempting to deal with the camp pressure. It's a 3 versus 3 setup, and the first objective is always to take down that wizard in the back to eliminate the spell aura.
Yep, it gets cleaned up. Talent's picked up the level 4 spell, or not the normal armor that you see. We've been seeing that a lot more. It's got the Cause Embrace, gives the extra lifesteal to Tracer to make sure she can stay on top of her health bar.
Totally understandable in this setup. I'm usually a huge advocate for going into the extra armor, but with Tracer, that's the one exception when you want to have the extra life leech. And especially in this setup, where you don't even have a full healer, that talent makes so much sense.
Temple in the middle will be under control of Fnatic. Menace here to help out and provide some grenades here and there, but mostly to focus on the wave clear. So both teams will shell away. There will be some fort damage in the top right on Fnatic's fort, as Leftovers controls that top temple, but the middle temple is starting to break through those gates, and will be able to start working on the well next, as both our teams are moving towards 7.
It's also Fnatic's map choice, of course. Leftovers so far playing this out quite nicely, but we haven't even exchanged. Yeah, DAB under pressure and nearly falling. Heavy plays here already by Shrimpy, trying to find these kills as he sneaks into that backline and tries to get the kill against Liming without any kind of calamity pressure against himself. It was good damage output there, but we still see Liming survive and not even half home because Linked is around on Deckard Cain.
Giants will be the next focus here. As there's one down here in the bottom right that's been left open. Fnatic's gonna go ahead and start working on those. 10 seconds. Leftovers will have their own up as well. But we get through the first temple phase. And while Leftovers takes the lead in infrastructure in terms of health that's been removed, they still didn't get that full fort completely, so that experience isn't there for them.
Also, when we look at boss control, this is really something where Leftovers are so much better set up than Fnatic.
Yep.
I mean, we have knockbacks. That's great for Fnatic, but then you're talking about Bunker, you're talking about Diablo with the Lightning Breath on point, Maiev getting so much value if people clump up in front of her, and of course Deckard Cain with the extra seal. So you have to be careful about that. Nice dodge. He's trying to go in with the play. Alright, Shrimpy easily moving out of this one. I am scared for Fnatic, to be honest. Leftovers are looking strong here, and Fnatic is still looking for an opening in this setup. But you have Mopsio again on Diablo, and he just seems always unkillable. It's mostly the synergy with, especially, of course, Ural that allowed him to do that in previous games. But he has Deckard Cain behind him, and he has now a Maiev and Blaze at his side, which makes it equally scary.
Because he's building up on stacks right now. He's currently sitting at 82, close to that level 100. Shwimpy gets in that front line and does some decent damage, but Link just heals it up easily. And I'm sitting here waiting for that aha moment. Oh, that's why they picked this. This is how they get those kills, because you can't deal with Diablo. Diablo's going to be hard to kill. Sure, get that Quantum Spike at level 10. It's going to have to be a backliner that gets destroyed, or maybe even when that bunker pops up, if they group up too much, maybe a value Riptire. But Leftovers, their composition, it's their bread and butter. They know how to play this.
That's actually a really good point that you bring up. The bread and butter of Leftovers, it's really trademarked them. And it comes together through Maiev, which they just played so much that every team that has their senses together is banning it out against them because they really love to do that. Fnatic apparently wasn't impressed, so bottom temple currently goes over to Leftovers. It's going to give them again an infrastructure lead, and that's normally what you're trying to avoid on the map here. But here's the level 10s now. Archon is being picked, nothing crazy happening just yet. The Riptire is also in. It's time to shine. Apocalypse, by the way, on Diablo.
Damon also picked up for Maiev. Upgrade that 5v4. Jump Bush comes out, straight into a combo on Shwimpy. He'll be able to blink out of that. The fort was the target for Fnatic, but they only get through the wall. Meanwhile, Murden continues to hold bottom.
Not a single kill in the game. 6.5 minutes in, Murden has taken, as you said, over control of the temple at the bot lane, so at least a few shots are being fired here. The experience is still nearly identical on those two sides. Leftovers are slightly ahead by a sliver, grabbing that earlier level 11, but that's already it. Boss is now on the map. It's another issue.
Tracer making a play for Maiev.
This just really feels like a game. If the first kill happens, it can just completely...
Or either side.
Just like an avalanche rolling over the opponent's team.
For right now, the Pulse feels like the Leftovers has the lead because they've got the fort in the bottom, they got the fort in the top right cleared up. It's always massive on Sky Temple. And Fnatic just trying to find that moment where they can find someone that may not be paying attention. And speaking about paying attention, Shwimpy comes over here straight into the camp and they find a kill.
They find a kill and they steal a camp away. Great kill there. And that is a fort at the top lane at the least.
And that'll give them experience too. That'll give them the lead. They'll jump up to 12. Leftovers still will be right behind.
Yeah, Mena already taking down the minion wave behind them to get their own minion wave into the fort range. Then more shots are being soaked by it. At least get that well. That was already down. They go for the infrastructure, and that's all that you want to do on this map. You take down structures, you take down forts, you take down turrets, you take down fountains, so that your objective attacks the rest that's available on the map directly. Play around your opponent. That's the name of the game on Sky Temple.
Junkrat will have an easier job too when 13 hits when he gets that Ripper Air. Being able to jump between those lanes to soak up. Keep that 4-man together for Fnatic. You have Murden, Urel, Tassadar, and Tracer trying to roam and find kills. Giants grabbed immediately here too. And now a double Temple phase begins for our teams. Urel will start to run in the top left, work on 13.
I'm nervous watching this. I cannot believe what it must feel like to play this game right now. 13 is so close for Fnatic. And Leftovers also just barely half a level away from it. 10 seconds for the temples to activate already at the top lane. Like, the rotations are very heavy right now. Urel trying to push out the top lane without exposing herself too much to potential rotations. Of course, Fnatic is calling, where are Leftovers right now? Diablo is bot lane, you're safe. Go on the temple, take that. At the same time, the rotation from the Leftovers happens towards the bot lane, so it's again an exchange of shots that are being fired here. But the 13 is there for Fnatic. And the lead in infrastructure, it's really tiny. I mean, it's basically non-existent right now. The temple is eliminating all of the forts though. So we're gonna probably have Leftovers take a tiny lead here if they can eliminate the top fort as well through those temple shots.
Yeah, they'll start putting some damage on that keep wall on the bottom right, but there goes that fort. Murden's coming down to see if he can make something happen here. Without anyone on the map really showing where they're at, he has to back up, he has to play careful.
This is eventually gonna lead to a big team fight. And whoever takes that team fight is going to take a massive lead on the map.
But where's it come around? Is it going to be a boss? Will it be Fnatic force an issue?
It has to. At some point, you are going to fight over either a single temple or over a boss. At some point, it's going to happen. You won't be able to dance around your opponent for the entire game, especially if Fnatic is already slightly behind. That rotation at the top lane is a little bit scary, though, because this is actually going to get some damage in. Question is, how are Leftovers reacting to it? There's a call to go for the bottom keep instead. Leftovers believe in their chances to really push this down, and they have 4 men currently on that lane.
They have Blaze up for defense too. If he gets in trouble, he can bunker up.
They're going to go for that keep if Fnatic allows it.
Tracer's not coming back. Main damage deal here for Fnatic. Tassadar comes back, he can provide shields, but the damage is not enough. That keep wall just now falls for Leftovers in the top left. Fnatic able to finally break through it. They actually go for an engage on top of Blaze, but Ponypal just backs up. Drops the bunker, then negates the pulse bomb.
Not sure if that was really worth it. It was fine, right? I mean, it's close. You don't want to die there. If it happens, and yeah. Again, better safe than sorry. It's not really the biggest cooldown. And bunker got nerfed a couple of times with the cooldown changes, but it's not like that thing is 2 minutes long or anything. So he drops the bunker there, is safe. And now, again, the play is 16 close for Fnatic, but the same true for Leftovers. But you can really tell that both teams push each other to the limit. Calls are being made here. And Leftovers didn't do Fnatic the favor of trying to rotate or defend. They said, like, you want to push top lane? That's absolutely okay with us because we have 4 heroes at the bottom and we push faster than you. So have fun dealing with that.
It's a dance of commitment between the two. No one's really going to make that first step.
Yeah.
Ask for the dance at all. The bottom keep took a little bit of damage, but Leftovers backed up as soon as Fnatic did. 2 temples to spawn. One in the middle and one in the bottom. And a boss.
That game is, like, I don't know. 2 temples right now. Okay, Fnatic, how do you play this? Again, they cannot go into any poke wars. That's the big problem they have, because they do not have any types of proper sustain in the long run. They have individual sustain on their heroes, but they don't have a full healer. They only rely on Tassadar, so they have to rotate around and make it snap decisions. Again, Shrimpy being very elusive here. Good damage against Mopsio, but there's Linked for the heals immediately. Last Hope gets a few more shots easily for his team. 16 is ready. We already have the quest completed on Tassadar. Good poke through him and the double storm that he can set up. But where are these fights coming from? Where's the engage? Where is that call to go for a target? And who's he going to be?
Who's really standing their ground down here, actually.
Yeah.
Stealing Affiliate's temple shots and removes another temple in the middle.
I mean, Fnatic has a lot of damage they can definitely bring to the table here with them running without a proper support. Yeah, Shrimpy is moving out again. Kidney, here comes the containment disc, and immediately the follow-up also. But it doesn't really work. The Apocalypse is coming in a little bit too early. The bunker's on the ground, but gets burned away immediately. Last Hope is still there. They're trying to go for the kills here. Kidney is low, so is Boss. They're getting the first one. Maiev is already dead, and now it's just a cleanup show as we're seeing Tracer rushing it, getting Blaze, going for the next target. Linked is about to fall, and Last Hope is still slowing down Diablo.
That Archon destroyed that team fight. Popped by Smexy. He jumped on top of the bunker, and once everyone fell out of the bunker, the AoE splashed him and shredded multiple members of Leftovers, and Tracer could just pick out her buffet. Multiple kills coming in, Leftovers lose 3, and now a boss for Fnatic.
We were asking, when is that moment when it all of a sudden just comes together? When will one of these teams get the kills and then all of a sudden snowball it? And that's exactly what's happening right now. 4 kills down, go for the boss, take that immediately, Urel rotating into the middle, getting the next temple, and Muradin on his way down to the bottom. Fnatic has all of a sudden taken a 1.5 level lead, and they are going to increase that by a mile right now. That bottom keep is in danger as the last few shots are coming through. Fnatic is at this point just all over the place.
Boss is walking its way on in, but Leftovers are hoping to defend that. The temple has been grabbed by Urel in the middle lane. That onslaught will stop soon as those shots continue to get lower and lower. Leftovers' main goal here is to stop this boss, but they have to watch out for Fnatic. The team is already grouping up outside their keep in the middle lane, and it's underneath half health already.
Yeah, and they are getting even more damage, and the keep at the bot lane is still there. Both of the keeps are still in play. Leftovers miraculously hold on to both of the keeps, but Fnatic is half a level away from 20.
And this is where their competition actually can do well. They can just back up.
There's nothing to do for Leftovers.
Exactly.
There's nothing on the map. There's no boss that you can fight for. You can't force a fight right now. And once Fnatic has 20, the Twilight Archon alone is such a problem to deal with. Then you have Tracer, of course, with the extra damage, and you have the rewind on Muradin. This is all of a sudden looking insanely scary for Leftovers. Fnatic with one fight got a massive lead in the game.
I mean, we talked about it at the start. One fight could decide this game. And Fnatic showed that, got a few pickups. Leftovers taking whatever they can on the map, but Fnatic is a ticking time bomb right now. They're just working on that level 20, waiting for that power spike, and then they can just step up and control the map.
The next temple, by the way, could not come at a better position for Leftovers. It's at the top lane. That's the one lane where your keeps are not threatened.
Yeah.
If that thing spawns bot lane and Fnatic gets it with a 20 advantage, they get 2 keeps for free. Here,
Leftovers can buy some time.
it could very much happen that they don't get a single one. They have to get it through rotations. They can't get it through the objective.
But is it going to be enough time? Will Leftovers be able to still get this 20? Do they have to fight before then?
Leftovers are not going to get 20 through this.
Yeah, there's no way. There's still a level and a quarter left for them. The temple's activating in 25 seconds. Yeah.
This is Fnatic. This right now on 20 is them. Now you have to make your play. You are a level ahead. You have Storm talents. This is where you really reap your rewards. You go in, and they're actually pushing the lanes right now, and I like this. Why go for the temple if you can go for the keep directly?
Push on the bottom. It's going to be Blaze target, but Mopsy's coming here from the side. The bunker does get popped right where the pulse bomb comes out. DAB on the side.
That's an early bunker. And Boss might still fall. Lornado is being popped. Everything is being popped. Mopsio doesn't have the souls yet. He's on 40 souls. That's not enough. And here comes the Apocalypse. They're going down. Diablo is dead. And they're trying to go for the next kill. Li Ming is already obliterated. And we see Blaze die as well. The Kidney is on the run here. Fnatic with that composition goes in deep and looks at the core.
With all 5, they turn their eyes to the core. A back-and-forth series between these two. All 5 games being played out, and Fnatic puts it all on the line on a Tassadar solo support with a Tracer composition, a daring composition, but yet they managed to pull it off. They find a couple of kills, and now their eyes are on the core. They have done it. They have won a 5-game series, and they'll be able to get a big victory over the Leftovers.
GG as Fnatic takes the win. A decisive last game after that oh-so-crucial team fight. 8 kills against 0. You look at the numbers and you're like, easy.
Yeah.
And then you look at the game, you're like, whew.
Oof.
That was a tough one.
Now, a slight warning.
Don't try this at home.
Please do not try this at home. Fnatic pulled it off, but it required a heavy amount of discipline. And I am impressed that they were able to get it. They had one more where they won a team fight, but this is a composition that requires all 5 team members to play near perfectly.
Do you think the engage with the containment disc Apocalypse setup didn't work? would it have changed anything?
Was he? What I was wondering about was he trying to land the APOC on the containment disc?
I assume
target,
so. I mean,
yeah.
it looked to me like
It was
like
super
that was
early.
the
There
plan.
was still about this much
Yeah, like
preparation.
to me, it looked like that was the initial plan to not only eliminate a target first, but then also, in addition to fighting a 5 versus 4 for a little bit, get that added bonus. So I assume that's what he tried.
Yeah.
But I don't even know if it would have changed anything, because at that point, that fight was already not going really their way. But boy, am I impressed.
It did boil down to one team fight. That's the major takeaway here. It was all about in the map control, trading out on temples, making sure that when you're trading out something, you're getting value on the side of the battleground. Even that keep attempt for both teams, the base race a little bit was a little bit tense.
And I mean, you can't go into a poke battle because you're sitting there and you already know, hey, we don't have a real healer. Yes, we have self-sustain on Ural and Muradin. They have something. But we can't eat Li Ming shots. We can't be in that standoff for the entire time. We need to, at some point, make a snap call and say, like, okay, now we're going in. And they were dancing around them for so long. And then that one fight happens. And the problem, of course, if you're leftovers and you go up against this composition, there are no forts anymore. Tracer just chases you to the end of the world. You have no chance escaping. I mean, Last Hope even. He jumped in behind too because he said, if they run away, like, guys, you clean up here, I'll stop them, and you just come after, and we're taking everything.
Well, we have Shwimpy here from Fnatic to celebrate today's victory at 3-2 over the leftovers. And Shwimpy, congratulations on your win, but I have to tell you, man, you are a madman. What was that draft in game number 5? Where was the inspiration for that?
I don't even remember, actually, but at one point, like, Bree said we should play Task Tracer without a support, and then we tried it, and it went well. We never did it on Sky before, but, you know, it worked.
Yeah, it worked. It was surprising that you guys were able to pull it off. I got to ask you, though, today, we came in expecting you guys to make a statement. The last time you faced off against the leftovers, it was an attempt for you guys to move the Western Clash. Obviously, it didn't work out for you today, but how important is this victory for you guys as a team?
I think it's mostly about feeling that we actually can close out a series and win a series. The win itself, we don't expect to go directly to BlizzCon as top 2. So winning or losing wouldn't really have mattered. It's more just as a moral boost. And, you know, it feels good to finally win a 5-game series.
Well, you guys pulled it off. Congratulations. I'm going to send you over to Caldor.
What the hell are you talking about? Of course it matters for your playoff positioning, if nothing else. And can you please smile? I mean, guys, that was a great series. There we go. That's the smile I was looking for.
Not that one.
Man.
That hurts you a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, it hurts.
The draft in the last game, the one thing that I was a bit confused about is that you guys didn't ban out Maiev after you banned her the entire time. Did you just feel that she is not going to have an impact here when she's taken? Or what was the idea? You eliminated Genji. I assume that you wanted to keep Tacet a little bit safer with that. But what caused you to just simply say, yeah, Maiev, we don't care about her?
I think on all other maps, like, team fights are very important and flanks are not that easy to control, and, you know, it just fits their playstyle overall with Maiev. But on Sky, he doesn't have the space he needs, and I really don't think it's a good hero on Sky for many reasons. That, I mean, you don't really team fight. Like, we dodge them until 16, and 16 is when we spike, and we have all our heroes can't really be caught by Maiev either. So we just wait 16 and we wait Maiev out, and then he's useless all game.
We personally perceived that you guys showed way more synergy as a 5-man today than you did in any other series, and that it feels especially stacking up CC and following it up. You had a lot of compositions, for example, with an initial stun, following it up by Mene with a Li Ming combo, and even Ana on top of that with a sleep. So the 3 elements coming together there. Did for you guys, when you played those games, it also feel that this is now a time when you can show a bit more of what you play in scrims and how you perform there in the HGC setup, since you all said this was a problem for you in the past? Or is that something where I said, yeah, I went a little bit better today, but we're still not there?
I think today's games were way more hectic than they are in scrims, and the comms were more chaos. So I think we're on the right path, but we also have to calm down, take it easy, and, like, do it more clear and not stressing everything so much. However, I think both games we lost were kind of on draft. So, like, the last Ana Li Ming game we played, ETC doesn't fit in at all, and it was a bad pick. Therefore, we couldn't really show the synergy. But overall, like, we're improving every day, and the synergy is getting so much better. every day we play, we're on the right step, and you'll probably see more as the season goes on.
Okay, glad to hear it. Awesome. We actually talked about that ETC pick also quite a bit and about that Diablo and URL setup that they claimed a few times. But it's great to hear that the synergy works out for you guys more. And it's visible as well. It was a great series, and it was cool to see that you guys can close out a best of 5 on the 5th map. We're worried a bit about that on the emotional side in particular. But yeah, great play today, and I'm really looking forward to the next matches that you guys play.
Thank you.
I echo the same thoughts there from Calidoro. We appreciate your time today. I know you had a long series, so I'm going to go ahead and let you go. But as always, you got to fill the floor with shoutouts.
Shout out to everyone who likes me.
That's
Shout
all of
out to
us.
everyone who dislikes me. Shout out to Snitch for still being boosted, and shout out to Monster Energy. They're doing some great stuff there. Thank you.
Perfect shoutouts. Schwimpy delivering for the shoutouts today here on HGC day number 2.